Now, the IDF fighter jets attacked over 450 military targets of the Hamas throughout the Gaza Strip in the past 24 hours. As Israel enters the Gaza Strip, Hamas targets civilian areas in border area of Sderot. Hamas fired projectile in civilian areas, houses, cars and the nearby buildings were damaged. Here's a report that has been sent by my colleague Gursimran Singh from the Israel-Gaza border. In fact, I'm told that Gursimran is joining us live on the broadcast from near the Gaza border. Gursimran, this of course is something that's only intensifying, isn't it? It's a complete blackout in Gaza, and the IDF has made it clear that they are now increasing and expanding their operations into the Gaza Strip. Tell us more details now, please.
See, you have rightly mentioned that the operation by the Israel side continues in the Gaza Strip. This is the third day of their operations inside the Gaza. It was day before yesterday when the Israel Defense Forces entered the territory of Gaza, and then they started targeting the operatives of Hamas. Also, the important development that has taken place that today a terror operative module, operational center of the Hamas that was roughly around 2 kilometers inside the territory, that is inside the fence that divides the Israel from the Gaza Strip, that was targeted, and we have seen that intense gunfight took place before that facility was blown out by the air defense system, air force of the Israel Defense Forces. And also now we are getting to know that the infantry brigade, that is the infantry team of the Israel Defense Forces, they are also on the ground. That means now the ground incursion has begun in the real sense. Earlier it was only the Merkavas, the BMPs and the APCs that were in the territory of Gaza. But now the troops are seen. The photos have been released, videos have been released by the Israel Defense Forces. That means now the troops on ground. The Israel side has their boots in the Gaza Strip. It is for the first time since 2005 that there are boots of Israel on the ground of Gaza, and this time they are looking into a full-scale invasion. We have seen some of the videos that have emerged where the soldiers of the IDF are unfurling the flag of Israel on the buildings, on the rooftops of the buildings in the Gaza Strip. Apart from that, one major development that has taken place remains to be that there has been a decision that was taken that there will be amendment to the Anti-Terror Act of Israel 2016. That means now, earlier what used to happen that only terror group like Hamas are designated terror group in Israel, but now the individuals will be designated as terrorists so that the international community and at international platforms they can be acted upon. This is very important, keeping in view the decision that was taken by the political leadership of Israel, that they want to ensure that no one who is affiliated to the political bureau or the military wing of Hamas goes freely as they have been roaming freely throughout the world. But now it is the time for the international sanctions be imposed not only on the terror group Hamas, but also those who have been affiliated to Hamas, who have been funding Hamas. And this decision is going to have implications for the cadre of Hamas, because there will be some sanctions that will be imposed by the Israel side, but also the international community will also impose sanctions on this dreaded terror group that has killed more than 1,400 Israeli civilians on an attack that was carried out on October 7th. Apart from that, we are also getting to know that the operations will also be intensified in the Lebanon side, because the Hezbollah group has once again started targeting the Israel Defense Forces. There have been multiple incidents that have taken place in the past 24 hours, though the Israel side has made it amply clear that they don't wish to open the Lebanon front. But yes, if challenged, they will be giving a befitting reply, and that is what it is going to happen, because the Lebanon side is trying to mount the pressure with the Hezbollah group. And also we have seen the attempts from the Syria as well as some of the localized attempts that are being made in the West Bank to destabilize the situation, because the enemies of Israel are looking into this as one of the key opportunities to destabilize Israel and also to act against the state of Israel. But now the Israel side is firm on their stand that the Hamas will be wiped out from the map of the world, and for that they are taking appropriate measures. They also know that it is going to take time, because in the territory of Gaza, Hamas is like their fort, and to kill someone or to defeat someone in their fort is a challenging thing for the Israel Defense Forces, and that's why they are continuing their operation in a tactical manner. What Hamas expected that soon after the October 7 attack, the Israel forces will barge into the Gaza Strip, and then they will get an opportunity to carry out booby traps ambushes on the Israel Defense Forces, which will lead to massive casualties to the Israel side. But what Israel side has done is a massive build-up on the borders, which almost was clear that Israel defenses will go all out. But then they chose 3 locations. 2 were the ground locations, 1 was via sea route. The Navy, along with the infantry wing, they carried out the operations from the Sderot border and also from the Be'eri and Beer Sheva. And apart from that, 1 sea route was also decided by the Israel Defense Forces, which left the side of Hamas by total surprise. They were totally taken aback by the decision that was taken by the Israel side, as they expected them to enter from every nook and corner, but only 3 places were selected. And now, in the initial fight, the war that has taken place on the Gaza Strip, the Israel side is having an edge over the Hamas terrorists. Though in the coming days, the situation will change, as the troops of the Israel Defense Forces have to get onto the ground, not only to neutralize the terrorists of Hamas, but also to fully decimate the infrastructure that has been built on the ground by the terrorists of Hamas.
Absolutely. Well, we'll talk about that also, how they are going to decimate it, because it's fraught with many risks, isn't it, Gursimran? But stay with us. There is another report that has been filed by Gursimran viewers from late night showing the operations against Hamas. Let's take a look.
The Israel Defense Forces have started the second phase of their Operation Iron Sword, in which the Israel Defense Forces are now entering the area of the Gaza. Some of them have already entered yesterday, and now the operations have been shifted from the aerial strikes, from the ground strikes within the territory of Israel to the territory of Gaza, which is considered as one of the strongholds of the Hamas terrorists, in which they have the complete network. The Prime Minister of Israel has made it amply clear that they are not going to succumb to the international pressure, and their operations against Hamas terrorists will continue. This means that the Israel side will go inside the Gaza like they are doing so, and they will totally wipe out the Hamas terrorists that are inside the territory of Gaza. It's important to mention that the Defense Minister of Israel has also made it very clear that as many as the operations they conduct, the more the pressure is mounted on the Hamas terrorists, the more will be the chances of the hostages getting back safely. He has also made it clear that the attempts that are being made by the Hamas side, those who are trying to divide the people over the hostage issue, they will all go in vain, as the government is committed to bring all the hostages back safely. This statement comes 24 hours after the intensified operations that were launched by the state of Israel, when the Merkava tanks, along with the other BMPs and the Israel Defense Forces, they entered the territory of Gaza from 3 places. 2 were the land borders, 1 was very close to the Sderot, another one was the Beer Sheva, and 1 route was the sea route that was adopted by the Israel Defense Forces to attack the terrorists of Hamas. The terrorists of Hamas, who had made a clear-cut plan, and they will be carrying out the surprise attack, the guerrilla attack on the Israel Defense Forces soon after the October 7 attack, as and when they will enter the territory of Gaza. But now what has happened, that the Israel side has decimated that plan, as they have come with the surprise for the terrorists of Hamas, as their guerrilla war tactics kept the Hamas terrorists keep on guessing that from where in the 51-kilometer long stretch the Israel Defense Forces will be entering the main area of the Gaza, and it was done from the 3 places. Now the Hamas seems to be on the back foot, as they have not only lost their deputy intelligence chief, but also their air array commander, that is who was responsible for the drone and the paraglider and air operations of Hamas, but also their naval commander. That means back-to-back setbacks to the Hamas terror group are continuing as Israel carries out the major operations inside the Gaza Strip.
Going back to Gursimran, who's live with us from near the Gaza border. As just we were listening to you in that report, Gursimran, of course, there are many tactics that the Israeli Defense Forces are resorting to. But this time, they have to take lessons from what happened in 2014. There were a lot of civilian deaths. And, Israel infantry battalions also suffered huge losses due to, anti-tank mines, snipers, and also ambushes. And we do understand there are notorious tunnels, in that Gaza Strip by the Hamas terrorists. And there are several factors that could actually come in way of that operation. This time, how equipped or how strongly equipped are the Israeli Defense Forces as far as this operation is concerned? Because they are looking to decimate the Hamas.
See, if we look at the statistics of the war, if we go by what has happened post the 7th of October since the start of Operation Iron Sword, Israel has been tactically successful in the operation because so far, since it's been the 3 days of the operations that are being conducted inside the territory of the Gaza, there has not been a single casualty to the Israel Defense Forces. And a number of infrastructure of the Hamas terror group and also some of the terrorists, those who were operational very close to the border side, they have been killed by the Israel Defense Forces. Apart from that, it is pertinent to mention that there have been multiple attempts to target the Israel Defense Forces that have been foiled by the IDF, by Hamas. So what Hamas is trying to do is to mount pressure as much as they can on the Israel Defense Forces by carrying out attacks. The Al-Qassam Brigade, they have a couple of minutes back claimed to have targeted some of the vehicles along with the infantry soldiers that were entering the Gaza from the northern side. That is from where we are actually reporting from, some couple of 100 meters from this very place where the Israel Defense Forces are entering into the territory of Gaza. So now the operations are continuing, but the Israel side has made it amply clear that they will decimate the terrorists of Hamas at any cost. And also from the 2014 war, as you have mentioned, the Israel side has learned many things. They have made it sure that this time they don't fall in the trap that is led by the Hamas terror group. And that's why the decision was taken that the full-scale invasion will not take place at once, but it will be a partial invasion that will be done in a phased manner. That is, from one place the Navy will enter, other place the Merkavas will enter, and then it will be followed by the infantry unit of the Israel Defense Forces. That means first low risk, then the airstrikes will take place at first, then the Merkavas will move to the place, and then the infantry soldiers. So this has been the tactics that are being adopted by the Israel side so far to ensure that what has happened in 2014 doesn't get repeated